In this tutorial I'm going to make this chain link here, and I made one with an army tank track and the geometry wasn't that good, so we're going to see if we can make a better one here. So let's get started here, and I'm going to go ahead and hide the pins here, and we're going to go ahead and activate the link here and go back to the lowest subdivision, and we'll lock it back up. We're going to use that as a reference. If you're having a hard time following, follow the command viewer down here, and we're going to get started. Now we're going to use a circle from center, and since we're going to use a lot of links, we need to keep this at low polygons. But then again, we want to keep it between low, but still maintain its shape. So we want it pretty low, and we're going to set the points at 14 and validate it. But we still want the smoothness, but we want to keep it low as possible because we're going to have too much geometry. Hold the control key, and I'm going to drag out. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and, as you notice the face here, the width of the face, that's going to be important here in just a second, so I'll explain that as I'm going along. So I'll select here, not quite the halfway mark, and here, select in between, and I'm going to be pulling out another face, and I want it about the same width as the one I'm started with. Hold the control key, and we're going to drag out. And before I can size it up very good, I'm going to need to, since I was pulling in the x-axis, we're going to go into the X right here, hit the backspace to empty it, and the zero, and the enter key will zero it out. Now we'll just go ahead and drag this where we need it, about right here. So these faces are just eyeballed, they don't have to be perfect. So, and I'm going to hold the control key and do it one more time. I'm going to make half of this link, then I'm going to mirror the other half so it can be perfect. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and hide this curve here, since this is a backup curve here that we're not going to be needing. I can actually hide it or delete it. I'll just go ahead and delete it. And there is our new half of our link here. Okay, with the object selected, I'm having a little problem, so sometimes when I just subdivide it, then select back here, it fixes the problem with the cemetery problem. So I'll just select the cemetery here and see if it will solve the problem. And it sure did. So be careful, that thing will like to, it'll like to mirror a line itself instead of the whole object. I don't know why. So, and I am using 2.1. Alright, we're going to go ahead and select both of these here and weld. And I also like to use, I'll be using the weld distance quite a bit, average weld, as I go along. Alright, now with that said, let's bring this out here. And we are going to add thickness to it. And let's go into a top view here. And we're going to get it approximately about the other one right there. And validate it. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the edge here and loop it to check something. As you can see, it doesn't loop all the way around. And another thing is, there's a problem area that's causing pinching when it's subdivided. We'll get some pinching where these edges meet together, so we're going to fix that. And we're going to turn on the Z cemetery. And we're going to, let's see, we're going to go ahead and move this one, as you can see back here which ones I'm moving. And hit the backspace. As you can see here, this one, and the backspace. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Let's average weld that one more time. Let's check our loop here. As you can see, now our loop's coming around nice and fine here. And we'll loop this side. As you can see, I got good loops. I'm just double checking that. But before I go on any further, I'm going to go ahead and select the two faces here. And I need to turn on the eye symmetry. And we're going to use the enable soft selection. And this is going to give it that little dip. Let's go a little bit more on that. Let's tone that down just a little bit. That looks fine there. Turn off soft selection. Now we're going to select this edge, the inner circle edge, and loop it. And we're going to do the same way with this. Now with all that selected, we are going to use the chamfer. Let's leave that at default and see what that looks like. Now we're going to subdivide it and take a look at it. Let's turn this on. The smoothing, and just to make sure nothing is pinching and everything looks just fine. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go into the next step. Alright, I'm going to center this link here. Let's go ahead and kill the subdivision. To center that with the crosshair of the grid, you need to zero these out. And we'll turn this one into 50. Press enter. That'll make it 50,000. Now when I press here, we'll just go ahead and hide this. Now this brings this in the center of the crosshair. We'll go into the top view here. And we'll go ahead and just turn this one on for just a second here. I'm just going to let me go ahead and bring this one down just for little demonstrations here. And I'm going to select this one. I'll go ahead and lock that back up. We'll select this one here. And I'm going to keep an eye on this value up here. This is kind of a little preference if you want to do this. So I'm getting close in the 7 range, so I'm just going to type in 7 here, which would be -7. Let me go ahead and hide this real quick. One is going to be -7, one's going to be 7. Alright, there's 7. And I'm going to go ahead and get a copy of that. Control-C, Control-V. And we'll make this one 7. Alright, let's go ahead and let's activate this one so we can see it here. And you can see they're right on the button right there. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and hide that. And we're going to go ahead and go to the front view. We'll select both of these. Control-C, Control-V. And I'm going to slide this where these holes match up. Top view mode. Alright, let's turn this other one back on. Alright, now I'm going to take this one here. I need to set it in to about right here. As you notice, I'm getting close to the 5 range. We'll just go ahead and hide this one now. Let's take a look at that. So we'll make this one 5. And this one -5. Alright, now they are perfectly together. Alright, we're going to select all these here, Control A, right click, and we're going to group to the root. And we're going to give these a subdivision of 2. And let's just take a look at this, see how this is looking. Don't look too bad there. And let's go ahead and give this material of let's give it some grayness. Let's go a little lighter than that. Let's compare that to the other one. Let's take a look at this real quick. Yep, that's about the same grayness there, so I'll just hide that one. Remember, this is our new one here. And we're going to lock that one. And now we're going to need to make the pins. And if you notice, let's take a look at this other one and turn on the pins. As you can see, I move things around, so what I'm going to do is we'll just hide this one here. And these are our pins. So basically what you do to make a pin is you just use a circle, and we're going to go ahead and hide this pin here. Go to the front view and lock that one there. Alright, now we're just going to use a circle from center again. And select out here. As you can see, the circle's way back here, so if you want to fix that, just go into the top view. Let's go ahead and move this group a little bit. See this white crosshair? It needs to kind of be back on that side. Back to the front view. And circle from center, and still quite didn't make it. That's alright. We'll set this to 16. I'll bring this up just a little bit. Now on my previous one I had 14. It was still a little too boxy, so I'm going to boost this one up just a little bit. And we're going to zoom in right here. And we are going to scale this down just a little bit. With inside the hole here. Let's take a look at the side here, and you can see, let's get a side view here. We want this about touching about right here, and we're going to go into the top view. And I'm going to hold the control key down and extrude it all the way to the other side. Control Z that there. Do that again. Alright, that said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close the hole here. And we need to activate the cemetery when I find the right one. It's always usually the last one, as you can tell there. And then again, we'll just hide the that extra curve it left behind. Select the face here. And then we're going to use extrude. Let's select this one here and tap the space bar. Tap the space bar again and bring this out just a little bit. Tap the space bar again twice. Don't look too bad. And validate it. We're going to go ahead and loop both of these, and we're going to use a chamfer. going to set this just a little extra right there, and we're going to validate that. We're going to set the material over here and set a new material on this one. Make this one a little bit wider. And we're going to copy this one and paste it. You're going to need to look at this in a couple views here. As you can see, I am bringing this other one back to the one, the links that are spread apart. This is where you want it at. Alright, shift click this one and right click and group it. Let's go ahead and delete that extra curve. And there's our new link. And with a new link here, we'll go on the next step. Alright, here's our old one we started with. This one of the pins have less points around it. You can see it's a little choppy here. And we'll turn on the new one here. As you can see, it's a little bit smoother. So let's go ahead and kill that one there, and you can actually there's all kinds of stuff you can do to this. You can select the multi copies, and you can set this back. Just use your scroll wheel here. Let me go ahead and zoom in here so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. I was typing the value down, just get a little bit closer so I get somewhere in the ballpark. And I'll just drag in here and just use my scroll mouse wheel. Don't look too bad there. And all you got to do is you can add chain links like this. And you just validate it. Anyway, that's pretty straightforward. Sorry if I had to blabble on a little bit longer there than unusual, but just kind of want to get the point across. And thank you very much.